for our inaugural episode of the Sundials Podcast, I thought there'd be no better guest than good friends of ours, the Dainty Morsels. They're a psych rock vintage band, I guess vintage rock psych rock band that started maybe late 2021, early 2022, and have been kind of kicking goals over the last year. And I think now their new sound is entering a new uncharted territory. I don't even know what I would call it. But we have them here now. My friends, the Dainty Morsels. That was a terrible intro. How are you guys?
Good.
Excellent. Yeah, so basically the point of this podcast was I figured the Sundials have a release coming out, and it'd be cool to talk to everybody, talk to the people we're having on our support lineups, on our residency as well, and really pick their brains. I guess you guys are my good friends, Dainty Morsels. We've known each other for a while, and so I have a few questions lined up just to let everybody at home know who you guys are and what you guys do. So I guess the first question is, who's the who of the Dainty Morsels? We'll start from here. Well, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Emily. I sing and write lyrics and melodies.
Very cool. Next along.
Very cool. I'm Lauren. I play drums.
Cool.
Every time.
I'm Jared. I play guitar.
I'm Emil. I play bass.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, that's cool. And how long have you guys been a band for?
Who knows?
It's been about like a year and a half.
Sweet.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, a better question, or a better way to phrase that is, what is your band's like origin story? How did it all start out?
Well, I met the original guitarist, who's no longer in the band, but on Adelaide Musicians, and then we jammed, and then I kind of knew Jared through,
Just friends.
other people around the place. Christian and Sundials.
Yeah.
And and then Emil appeared at some point.
Yeah, after Slingshot Festival 2021, I saw him play.
Slid in the DMs.
Followed him on Instagram, slid into the DMs. You know, there's no better way.
Very cool. Yeah, it's funny actually. I think thinking back to I guess it was like late 2021, a lot of things was happening, and I guess all of our friends' bands kind of formed at the same time, like Badland Caravan, you guys, and the Sundials, or what started as Supergroup. And I actually remember my input to your origin story is that I was running that broadcast bar open mic night, and I think the first two went pretty cool, and the third one was just dead. And then I saw you, and I was like,
I was
wait a
waiting
minute.
for the bus.
Yeah, I was squinting. I couldn't see if it was you or not. And then we played Boots Are Made for Walking. Yeah, that's my little recollection. But I remember you came along to that, or from what I thought, to find some band members. And so it's kind of funny that here we are, I guess a year later, and we're doing a podcast interview with your band. It's pretty cool. That's kicking goals. And so on that, I feel like the debut show for you guys, was that my birthday?
No, it was Ancient World.
Ancient World. Cool.
Ancient World.
Yes. Very cool. Well, either way, that was about late 2021.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, so 2022 has really been your main year of being a proper band. There's a lot of time in the beginning of a band where you're trying to figure out what works. You either bring in too many members or lose members, or whatever happens. That happens with the Sundials as well. And so 2022 was your year. What do you think was the coolest thing you guys got out of 2022?
I think the recording.
Yeah.
You know, coming up with new material, different styles.
Yeah.
From what we originally were writing, because getting the final members on.
Yeah.
Really starting to.
Yeah.
That was me.
Do you remember when you started the band, when you got into it?
Yeah, it was kind of because of you, I guess. Because, I don't know, I was going to your shows. I saw a lot of you at, Slingshot, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of knew all your songs just from, dancing to them. And then, you guys were looking for a drummer. And Dita let slip that was something that I could do.
You really did.
At first I was like, no, that's too scary. I don't want to, do that in front of people. But then, I don't know, it was just, at your house.
You will be the drummer.
Yeah, I think it was at the broadcast. We were watching I think it was either Sundials show or Badlands show.
Yeah.
And then Dita just came up to Emily and I was just like, by the way, Lauren plays the drums. If you're still looking, we're like, oh.
Yeah. I guess when I found out that Lauren played drums, Lauren had said to me that she played drums, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, I play a bit of drums, I dabble. But then I saw her play drums, and I was like, oh shit, Lauren actually plays drums, you know? Like, I actually, turns out, don't play drums. That's what I do. But, yeah, and so I guess it just kind of, like, it turns out, yeah, you'd been playing since you were a kid as a drummer, and then I guess for the last, say, like, 2 years or something, you hadn't played or something like that. Yeah, that's wild. Well, okay, so that's, I guess, one origin story. Where did you even come from, Emil? What happened with you?
It's a foggy day in late 43.
Right.
They came.
They came? Were your parents?
No, I don't know. I was,
Conception story.
I honestly got no clue how I saw you guys. It was, because we had this friend called Henry Grant.
Yeah.
Who, was a big fan of the Moors.
Yes, me too.
Who people might be familiar with. And was the Slingshot show you guys played the one where the Moors had their last show?
I think it was actually.
That was,
yeah, it was.
And Henry dragged me along to see the Moors.
Hell yeah.
And then I saw this band called the Dainty Morsels. And followed them on the socials, which is what all of you should do right now at home. And they put out an Instagram story saying, we're looking for a drummer and a bassist. And I was like, I play bass. I don't play drums. So I slid into the DMs and we jammed a couple of times at the end of 2021. Then radio silence. And then like February 2022, we just started doing 2 gigs a week. And it was like,
yeah, it was pretty fun.
where am I?
Just opened your eyes one day and you were the bassist.
But now it was pretty cool time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think wasn't that the show? That show, the last Moors show. I had the jumpsuit on, didn't I? That purple jumpsuit. Yeah, you should wear that jumpsuit. That's so cool. That's incredible. But yeah, that was a thing that happened. I guess that's how integrated all of our bands and stuff are. Is that like, I guess it really was like late 2021. Everybody was just like, oh, I don't know, my band's dying or this band's finished up. What are you guys doing now? Like da 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 da, and then just suddenly 3 new bands just formed all at once, which is really cool. You know, it feels like we kind of had an immediate like little friend group thing that just happened. But yeah, I don't think to talk about is like Arthur Art Bar, I guess, as far as all of us go. Like, I guess the Sundials is the first official Sundials show was like the residency that happened at Arthur for us during the Fringe, which was playing with Fiona O'Loughlin, the comedian, which was a bit fast and loose and dare I say rough, but it went all right. You know, it was kind of funny. And I guess you guys had something similar immediately following with Badland Caravan, right?
Yeah, residency.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was dope.
4 weeks of different bands joining the 2 of us.
I remember that.
I mean, that really solidified our sound and playing as musicians. I mean, that opportunity really made us cohesive and tight.
And it's like a safe place to play because you can just mess around because it's pretty loose there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's great.
Experiment.
Yeah, I guess that's there's more to talk about with there later, but yeah. Another good question would be, because I guess we're just talking about like the starting of a band, is what are pitfalls that you guys didn't expect? Like when you guys first became a band, what is something that you wish someone had sort of told you about?
How much time?
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's a lot
How
of
much?
to actually like keep the ball rolling. It's just a lot of constant.
Yeah, gigging, rehearsing, writing new stuff, recording.
Because it's very easy to get stagnant and just like be in the same spot if you're not making like a conscious effort to, you know,
keep
fucking going.
Yeah, roll the ball down the hill. Yeah, that's it. I think my thing was like maybe money. I think the first band I was in, the D Major Mystery Band, shout out D Major Mystery Band, is that like all the money that we got, we just reinvested into like, we were paying for rehearsal rooms and we were paying for like, I don't know, just Ubers a lot, because I think our driver had a DUI at the time and I didn't have my license, so we were just like Ubering everywhere, and all of our gig money, we were playing like every second week, and all that was going to rehearsals and Ubers. But and so like we never ended up getting to record because all the money we had would go into silly expenses. Yeah, that's another thing I could say is, if you had advice for a band starting out, like, you know, someone's starting completely fresh, what would you tell them, you know?
I don't know. I feel like be prepared to compromise. Like, you gotta kind of figure out everyone's deals and make sure everyone is like can be equally as invested because everyone feels seen.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, unless you're going into it like, yeah, I want a backing band. Like, don't treat people like a backing band. Like, you need help.
Yeah,
absolutely, it's a team.
I feel that. Yeah, I would definitely say that. One thing that I really appreciate about being the Dainties is that there seems to be an awful lot of cohesion between all the members. Like, I feel like we all account for what everyone else is going on, and I definitely feel that. And, like, I always want to show up. Like,
it's like...
There's never, like, a feeling of, like, oh, this is going to be hard work. It's like, oh, yeah, no.
Just hanging out.
Done. I'll
just...
be there.
Shouldn't be like a job. Like...
No.
Cool.
I mean, the best thing, I think, for us as a band that happened was just that month or two where we were just gigging our fucking asses off.
Yeah.
That was, we were having, like, 1 or 2 gigs a week, and it was just playing and playing and playing. We got to know each other better personally, and that really does shine in the cohesion of the music. When you're tight with your interpersonal relations, the music comes along with it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can really like get super tight with each other.
You feel more comfortable being more like not criticizing, but you know,
Yeah.
open to like.
That's important.
You know,
Yeah.
You're not scared that someone's going to get offended over just like, you know, just your opinion on things.
Yeah, I think that'd be my advice. Is like the two of them is like, one is when you first start in a band, you want to book, like you yourself want to book like a show every like week or 2 weeks with different cool artists, and then make friends with them too, because then you can sort of like, they might have a gig coming up and they can get you on a lineup and their friends will come along to see you guys play and stuff like that. And the other thing, which is something that I've constantly had trouble with my bands and stuff like that, is you want the type of band members that you can just say like, hold on, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, what are you doing there? What's that, like, terrible noise you're making? Or something like that. You know, you want to be able to, maybe not like that, but you want to be able to sort of tell someone, like, yeah, I don't think that's working. And we've had, I guess, me and my own stuff, have had that plenty of times where it's just too difficult to be able to tell someone, like, look, I don't think that's really working. You know, we've had band members that, like, almost quit the band because you say, like, we don't think that thing you're doing is really working with the song. Everybody feels that way, and, yeah, that can be a rough one. Cool. All right. Well, that's beginner questions out of the way. How about I did a terrible job at explaining what the Dainty Morsels actually is in the beginning of this. What do you guys, if I was to give you guys like, say, a top album, or what are you guys listening to at the moment individually, and maybe that can paint the Dainty Morsels for everybody at home, what is your like, I don't know, like, what are you really digging at the moment musically, and I don't know, what's your favorite album or something?
I've been really into like old sad cowboy,
Hell yeah, dude.
like Marty Robbins and stuff lately, but definitely like Brian Jones Sound Massacre is like my favorite. Thank God for Mental Illness by Brian Jones Sound Massacre is probably my favorite album.
Cool.
Hell yeah. Lately I've been listening to a lot of like Black Sabbath's Paranoid.
Cool.
Just
Very
into
cool.
it right now.
That bangs, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite album is? Is that a lofty question?
I couldn't ask. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I feel like I like to look at that as like, it's not your favorite album of all time ever, but like, what is the thing you like the most at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's my answer for like, at the moment, that's what I'm going to.
Yeah, cool.
But that'll change, you know.
Yeah, of course.
I guess. I don't know, long time favorites. I guess I have roots in like appreciating Radiohead since I was very young.
Cool.
Which is fun. Yeah, I don't know, apart from that.
Cool.
All kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I've been listening to a lot of like Peter Green, Fleetwood Mac
Tight,
recently, and you know, album that I always go back to is Magic Sam's West Side Soul. It's just like a classic.
Yeah, cool.
Chicago blues album.
Yeah, tight.
With his
I haven't
hits.
heard it. That's cool.
That goes hard.
What do you got?
Oh,
Steve
right
Vai.
now. Right now.
Yeah.
Bloody Hoodoo Gurus. Stone Age Romeos.
Really?
Bloody amazing album. No, it's fantastic. You guys just wouldn't get it. It's above your plane of consciousness.
Too big for my small brain.
But I mean, like long time favourites. Again, Radiohead. Amazing sound, amazing composition, and Pat Metheny's Bright Side's Life. That album never fails.
Yeah. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I haven't listened to much like Radiohead and stuff like that. But you should check that out. Everyone seems to recommend them to me. But
Try being a male manipulator.
I'll
It
try.
helps you understand it better.
Far out. But
What's your album, David?
yeah, I guess for me, because of you, it's the initial Fleetwood Mac album.
Oh, yeah,
That bangs.
Yeah,
And also, dude, I can't believe it. I was only like literally like 2 months ago, I figured out that Fleetwood Mac, the same band that I guess eventually did like, what are all those songs called with the lead singer? Yeah, the girl lead singer. I don't know, all the Stevie Nicks songs. It's like that was the same band that did Black Magic Woman. Like, what are you talking about? But that was a Santana song the whole time. But yeah, so that's wild. But yeah, I've been, yeah, it's straight up. So I guess I've been checking out a lot of them. I guess, yeah, and obviously the Rolling Stones and stuff like that. So as a bit of a tidbit, I got a meal a job at the cafe I work at.
Eastborough Eatery represent.
Eastborough Eatery and Lauren as well. Actually, check that place out. A bunch of musicians just run it now. But yeah, because the boss there listens to so much like Creedence and like Genesis, and then you listen to a lot of Steely Dan, and I listen to a lot of the Rolling Stones. Like when you shuffle, it doesn't matter what you shuffle, it always works its way back to like Steely Dan and the Rolling Stones.
I mean, it always goes back to Boyce Avenue.
I
think that's what I came into this interview really wanting to talk about.
Boyce Avenue is the in-joke of the century for like me and 2 other people, by the way. It's an acoustic cover group, and they do acoustic songs, and I don't like them. Sorry, Boyce Avenue. That's my political statement there.
Making shots.
We'll have to blur their name out. We can use the cuss button. All right. Well, in that case, what do you? Now that we know the Dainty Morsels, what do you guys think was the highlight of 2022 for you guys?
Aquarian Garden was pretty cool.
That bang.
That was like
Yeah,
very
hands
fun.
down.
And setting it up and everything was just like
Yeah.
so fun.
That was cool.
Like,
Like a
think
big
that's it.
whirlwind.
yeah.
Mm.
That is so
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I think yeah, for us it would be the same thing. We actually have, dear listener, somewhere behind me the brainchild of the Aquarian show, and there's more to be announced with that. I don't know if we'll bring him out today. I don't know if we will. I don't think you guys are ready for that, but he's definitely back here somewhere. So we'll leave it as a mystery. We'll bring it up. It's to be continued. But yeah, no, I think that show. I guess what's the backstory for that? It was sort of like to not explain too much because that'd be a whole episode to itself, I think. But a friend of ours, King of the Badland Caravan, helped organize this like crazy big show at Arthur's with like 5 great bands, and we set the space. We got Arthur Art Bar basically to ourselves to just completely deck out over the week, and it was all covered in green finery and pretty garden stuff, and the whole stage was decorated, and that was mostly from I guess your workplace, right? Like all flowers and stuff like that.
house,
Yeah. So we wheeled across that stuff with my van. That really did feel like very grassroots. We just had like my van packed full of like plants from your house and stuff like that, and wheeled it up to Arthur's, and then it sold out, and it was just like this great night. And then I guess we had like a lock-in after that, like sort of an after party, and just like kept going until like 5 a.m. That was awesome. And I guess all the music from that night was great too, and yeah, it was totally great vibes. Because I've seen big shows at any venue, and depending on the crowd that you get, and it can be like disgusting vibes, or it can be like amazing, and that truly was like the best crowd and the best engagement. I saw maybe you can blur this out, I guess maybe, but I saw Ty Segall in Adelaide recently. I wore my cool suit to it, and I went to it, and I didn't have a good time at all. I found that no offense, I like Ty Segall, he's pretty cool, but like the crowd wasn't moving at all, and like the crowd was packed out, so it was just like a still crowd of everyone basically standing still. And I think because Ty Segall's cool, they let him just crank all the band stuff up like super duper loud. So I had earplugs in, and even then I was like, damn, this shit's so loud. And I feel like, yeah, like to have like a great audience is part of like a great live show setup. And I think the Aquarian show really did have that. So yeah, if you're interested in the setting up of a little festival and stuff like that, and the do's and don'ts of doing that, and even one that might be coming up soon, we might have another episode in the works in the future, so stay tuned for that one. But yeah, other than that, what other cool questions have we got? So yeah, 2022, the highlight was the Aquarian show. Is there anything else for you guys? I guess you guys recorded recently, right?
Yeah, recording was the big one.
Yeah.
So
That-
fun. Like,
How did all that come about?
Emil.
Well,
the network.
I worked behind the sound desk for a production of a Year 10 musical of Mamma Mia.
Wow.
So the guy who runs the studio, Tristan Bird, Palomino Sound Recorders, we were behind a sound desk for a week together,
Cool.
just getting our minds blasted by some rather shocking renditions of ABBA songs.
Hell yeah.
And it was a bonding experience. So when we said we wanted to record, I was like, this is the man.
Hell yeah.
And when we went to the studio, we just clicked instantly, really. We came in with 4 songs prepared to record, and I was just saying to myself, if we only do 2 or 3 of them, that'll be fantastic. And in 2 days, we recorded 6 songs.
Mixed mastered.
Great.
Mixed and mastered.
Yeah.
Mixed mastered.
Yeah. Right
First
on.
takes too for some of them. It was good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Everyone's just in the zone.
That always feels good, I think, to crunch some stuff out and you guys just know it super well and you get it recorded. Yeah, I've heard them. They sound cool. Do you guys have anything in mind for the launch for that? Like, do you have anything coming up?
Yeah, I think we're kind of in the midst of getting it all together. We've had a little brainstorming session. And Emil's putting together our roadmap.
Wow.
I'm putting together a roadmap.
That's serious. You got to have a roadmap. It's great.
9 weeks out, 8 weeks out, 7 weeks
Yeah.
out, 6 weeks out, 5 weeks out, 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, 1 week out.
Excellent. Yeah, that's
Shows you
something
how
else.
the numbers go.
That's something else that's really important. For anybody at home that is looking to start a band with releases, I think everyone that I know has had an experience when they first put a release out is you've had working on music as a pipe dream for so long, and you think like, when I finally get it done, then you've got it done in like a day, and you're like, what do I do? Do I just put it on the internet? Somebody gonna find it? But like, no, like it's really important to figure out like plans and releases, and I guess the Sundials are working on that right now, I guess, like, and stuff like that, and so that's really exciting. But do you ever have a date booked for it or anything like that? Do you want to talk about that yet, or is that like still in the works?
Yes, we have got a date.
Yeah, we got bit of a prank, bit of a joke. April Fool's Day, April 1st.
April 1st, Arthur Art Bar. Check that out.
But it's not a joke. It's actually coming.
Yeah, it's actually on the day. Right on. That's awesome. And yeah, that's going to be sweet. I'm keen for that. I guess it looks like there's a lot of great stuff happening in the next few months with our little gang, which is really cool. Yeah, the Sundials launch is like March 22nd, 24th? Yeah, I don't even know what date it is. 24th. And okay, so aside from that, I suppose that's something I want to talk about later was like the stuff you guys have coming up. But yeah, what are you looking forward to most in 2023? Because I'm super excited for this year, you know?
So much.
I'm pretty excited for Aquarian too.
Yeah.
Definitely to like actually have some music out though is gonna be like.
I think releasing our music is going to be massive.
Yeah.
Because every time you tell someone you're in a band, they say, "Have you got Spotify?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I swear I played.
Yeah, I'm in a band.
Yeah, I think I'm excited for that too. I guess we, the Sundials, have like tarot business cards. Does anybody have any of those on hand? There's a stack on the table.
producer Patty.
My assistant, hell yes. Yeah, so I guess the Sundials, in lieu of not having like a release out, we have like a tarot card that has on the back of it like a QR code that goes to all of our stuff. And so we've gotten gigs. Somebody came into my cafe recently, or the cafe that I work at. I don't run it. Not yet anyway. But and they just thought I looked like a band person. I was like, why? In fact, I am a band person. And sending up into Jared actually at his work, and we've gotten gigs from that. And then just for me, having this card was useful because then people can like check our stuff out really easy, like a click away or a scan away in this case. And that was thanks to Lauren actually, who worked. He's like a designer, visual designer, kind of graphic designer person, and assembled us a nice little quick business card, like it was nothing. And I couldn't have done that. So that's very awesome. Props. Shout out Lauren. Y'all need some work done. Check out my boy Lauren. But yeah, so that's cool. So yeah, the releases. I suppose something else that's pretty cool. So for the Sundials, we have a residency coming up at the Crown and Anchor, where each guest for our single launch in March 24 is going to come and play a guest spot on the Monday. And the first guest spot is going to be Dainty Morsels on February 6th, which is in between when we're shooting this and February 6th. There's a lot of time happening. And in that time, these guys are going to go on a tour. They're going to go do their first interstate act in Melbourne. So what's going on with that?
Cool. It's at the Cactus Room in Melbourne.
Next Friday.
Yeah, next
Yeah.
Friday.
Next Friday.
Damn.
Yeah, so
We're gonna track down there.
Just
Touch base in Melbourne. What are your thoughts behind that? Like, I guess for me, I think the Sundials are actually looking at doing a lot of rural gigs. Like, we like the idea of kind of traveling out and just playing those kind of like funny small bar shows and getting a bit of a party out of it and stuff like that. And eventually we'll trek into Melbourne with our releases out. What is the idea behind Touch and Base in Melbourne? Like, you guys just gonna feel it out?
We've done like a little Cape Jam.
Yes, I remember that too.
Really
That's another
fun.
2022 highlight, I feel
Yeah,
like.
that was honestly
Yeah, that's
that was a
fun.
great
No, that was
one.
beautiful.
like
I
camp
love
out.
that.
Yeah, awesome.
I think Melbourne was pretty much just like Adam from Moose over there from
Mystery Boy over there, yeah.
Heartland was just like everyone's like says it's really hard to like play interstate.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was just like I'm gonna see if I can just like do it.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I think that's something that I think a lot of people, like with the release, say when it's not perfect or it's not the time yet or something like that, you end up not releasing any music and then you don't have any music out, and it's like, well, what's the point? You know, what's the point of that? I should have just put something out or done something. And I do think just trekking out is so, because you'll learn so much and you'll get so much back from it, and then people will see you over there and
And
stuff
it's like
like
nothing
that.
to lose because it's like a trip with friends.
Absolutely,
anyways.
that's
like,
awesome.
It's just
Yeah.
Like a
a
holiday.
good time.
Yeah.
Like
No,
Yeah.
and I'm super keen because I'm sure we'll make a great impression on like the
Yeah.
other bands
Spread
that
the
we
word.
play with,
and then we'll
and
know for like next
Yeah.
time.
Absolutely,
Hopefully,
yeah.
because when there's higher stakes as well, it'd be nice to actually
Yeah.
have a bit of an idea of what we're doing. Like
Yeah, very cool.
Plug the single launch, so
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
you know it comes out. If they dug it, they can like listen to it.
Mm. Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, no. So is that everything?
I don't know. I guess big points to take away. Going to Melbourne next week. We're really excited for Aquarian 2 this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And our single launch, of course, which is going to be April 1st at Arthur Art Bar. Get keen. We're really excited.
Yeah.
Bring your mum, bring your dad,
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Bring
yeah.
your dog.
bring your
Yeah.
dog, even your nan if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be wholesome. Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
That's everything, right?
I think
Or,
that's
like,
pretty much it.
Yeah, get ready for
Yeah.
some sick tunes blasting your Spotifys
Power to the
exactly.
produce.
Power to the
from the
produce.
patch of emerald green.
Hell yeah. Yeah, if you're I guess excited to come and check out Dainty Morsels, we are playing together on February 6th when they come back from their tour. We'll be hitting the Crown and Anchor for a little like small kind of residency gig there in the front bar. So that'd be fun. If you like these guys and you want to talk to them or hear what they've been up to on their tour, come check that out, February 6th. And I think that's everything then. Thanks for coming on the little station here, guys. You're
Thank you, Team Major.
my favourite guest so far. Right on. Well, thank you very much.